So for my informative speech, I decided to talk about divorce. So according to this article, divorce and its impacts on kids, children whose parents divorce at a young age are oftentimes resentful towards their parents, lose trust, and even have extreme behavioral changes. So why is this important to you? I know one day we all want to have a family and have kids, and we think that it's going to last and we hope that it will, but sometimes it doesn't. And this can be really problematical if not handled correctly, if you are getting a divorce. So, as a young kid, at the age of 7, my parents got a divorce. They were constantly fighting. I was put in the middle of every argument, and it was really rough as a kid. But looking back now, I realized that them splitting up was for the better of our family and for me. So, although there are many divorces that occur and many children have trouble accepting and understanding why, the reasoning behind their parents getting a divorce is usually for the better of the family. The main points I will discuss are how children are affected by their parents' divorce, how divorce should be handled, and how the children should not be involved and put in the middle. And lastly, as they grow older, how they are able to look back and understand why it took place. So children are affected by their parents' divorce. Oftentimes, children between the ages of 3 and 17 are most affected, especially between the ages of 6 and 8. That's when they have the most grieving process. So in the article, Impact of Parental Separation or Divorce on School Performance in Preterm Children, it states parental separations were associated with a decrease in school performance at 5 years of age. So the parents getting a divorce was associated with a decrease in the children's level of motivation, independence, and manual skills. So this study showed that parents who split put their kids at risk for a lower academic performance. So not only does divorce affect children at a younger age academically, but it also affects them socially. In the article, Divorce Among Parents and Its Impacts on Personality and Socialization of Children, it talks about how children oftentimes see the worst in things and are negative about different aspects throughout their childhood. An example is oftentimes when parents fight in front of their child, it makes it hard for them and makes them feel powerless. They can't help either parent and don't have the power to stop the hostility. So this can create rage because they are unable to help, which then interrupts an important childhood developmental tasks. So divorce should be handled in a way that children are not involved or put in the middle in any aspect. So oftentimes in situations when the divorce occurs due to an affair, for example, it tends to be tougher on the children. The adult's ability to maintain a united front for the sake of the children can be very difficult when cheating is involved. In the article, Divorce is Tougher on Kids for if a cheating parent is involved, it states the parent who was cheated on tends to cling to the children, while the parent who cheats often keeps distance, initially out of shame. So this can be very confusing for the children. This can cause a lot of conflict between the parents and oftentimes put the children right in the middle. So the parents must learn to co-parent, even if they are unhappy with one another. This can have a huge impact on the children. Also, putting on a happy face. This is a big one though. This is very tough for parents during divorce. They need to show that they are happy even if they really aren't. Therapy is also a great suggestion for the parents or the kids. Communication with the children is also very essential. If they aren't open to talking, then don't force them, but see if deciding if a therapist would be the best option, because this is a drastic change in their life and it is very important. So as the children grow older, they are able to reflect on how their parents' divorce impacted them, but also if they would have stayed together, what other issues would have arose within their family. So this can be the solution to creating a healthy household. Some parents grow apart after years of being together, so divorce is the best option for their family. Also looking from the parents' point of view, them wanting to be a positive influence on their children, kids can oftentimes tell when their parents are unhappy. So if they were to stay together, they're showing their kids that it's all right to be unhappy and they shouldn't settle for anything less. So in the article, A Young Adult's Reflection about her parents' divorce, a therapist shares the story of one of her clients who happened to be a young teenager. She states, as a young adult, Kay believes that divorce can be a healthy and productive event for a family. She can see now that her parents weren't good for each other. I have have love and empathy for each parent and had the support of her parents to work through the issues in therapy. Although during the divorce it was tough, she is now able to maintain a loving relationship with each parent. In this example, Kay's parents getting a divorce was for the better of her family in the long run. So in conclusion, many children that have had parents get a divorce may be impacted as a young kid and have different struggles, but as they grow up, they tend to understand the reasoning behind their parents' divorce and how the divorce was usually for the better interest of the family. The main points I discussed were how children are affected by their parents' divorce, how divorce should be handled and how the children should not be involved, and lastly, how they grow older, how they are able to look back and understand why it took place. So divorce is very common in today's world, so being aware of the impacts it can have on children is vital for understanding how to best handle the situation if you're ever involved. Thank you.